Greetings, everyone. I've been thinking about an incident in my life that happened 15 years ago, and it's invoking me to want to start on a project. So let me tell you about this incident. It was shortly after I moved to St. George. Ellen Tart Jensen, one of my very good friends from IPA, the International Iridology Practitioners Association, sent me a book by Lenedra Carroll called The Architecture of All Abundance. Now, Lenedra Carroll is the singer Jewel's mother, and in the book she told the story of how Jewel got started in her singing career. After graduating from high school, Jewel wasn't sure what she wanted to do with her life, and her mother encouraged her to spend a little time thinking about it before she just plunged into getting a job or doing something. Well, Jewel had a very hard time figuring out what she wanted, and so her mother finally suggested she do a meditation in which she envisioned herself in the future doing what her life calling was, or what her passion was. And Jewel saw herself singing, and she came back to her mom and she said, I want to be a singer, I want to write my own songs, and I want to sing for millions of people. And the reason why I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do was because I was having a hard time believing that it was possible for me to do that. Now that set me on a line of thinking, and I want to encourage you to maybe do this same line of thinking in your own life. And that line of thinking is, well, how am I holding myself back? How am I limiting what I do by my beliefs that I can't do it? And so I did my own meditation, and my own meditation was, I asked myself this question: if nothing were impossible, if I could do anything I wanted, if I could achieve anything, there were no obstacles to achieving what I wanted, what would I want? Well, I didn't have to hardly think about it at all. And the answer came back very clearly to me. I would like millions of people to understand what I understand and to know the things that I know. In other words, I immediately recognized that my desire was to share the things that God had shown me, that had so blessed my life and had given me so much amazing insight and understanding into the world, with millions of people. I just wanted this knowledge to get out there. Well, I set a goal to do that. Before I set a goal to do that, as I thought, well, okay, let me do that. And the Spirit, which was, the little voice inside that I seek guidance from, said, well, if you don't do it, who else will? And that was very significant to me, because that's what the Spirit told me when I was told to volunteer to be president of the American Herbalist Guild and help the Herbalist Guild, which was at that time falling apart and having a lot of problems, when the Spirit said to me, you need to volunteer to be president. And I said, well, I'm too busy, I'm having too many problems in my own life. And the Spirit said to me, well, if you don't do it, who else will? And what it wound up is, the reason why I became president is because when I went to the board meeting and I looked around and everybody was talking about the problems, but nobody was offering any solutions, I finally raised my hand and said, make me president and I'll fix it. And in the debate that followed about whether that was a good idea or not, someone finally said, well, is anybody else willing to do it? And nobody raised their hand. And so they said, okay, well, let him do it. And that's how I got to be president. So, and of course, I was able to do a lot of good for the Guild, which I'm really pleased with, because I really love the American Herbalist Guild and I really love the whole herb movement, and I really wanted to be able to support that and still want to be able to support that. But that's kind of sidetracking from the real story, because what I'm really talking about is the fact that that little voice said, if you don't do it, who else will? So I've pondered for a long time how to do this, because yes, it's true, I share a lot of very interesting information about natural healing that I think is very valuable. I share a lot of information about emotional healing, and I haven't even reached millions of people with that information. And that wasn't even the information that I was thinking about when I thought, I want millions of people to know what I know and understand what I understand. As I said again, it wasn't the health information. That was part of it. It was a small piece of it. But it wasn't what I was thinking about. What I was thinking about is certain concepts I've learned that have enabled me to grasp and see correct principles in numerous things that aren't even related to health. I'm talking about things related to our relationships with one another, and parenting, and marital relationships and social relationships, and about learning and teaching, and about society, and on and on and on. There's patterns that I discovered in the universe, patterns of truth, and those understandings of patterns of truth enabled me to rapidly grasp and retain and utilize information in a way that is really quite remarkable. And I really want people to understand this. I really want people to know this. But it's so, in some ways, far out there that I haven't even known how to get started. So as I was thinking about this in the last few days, I thought, well, let's just get started. Writing it down is difficult because when you write, or at least when I write, I want to really polish it, edit it, really make it, shine, and have my writing be very concise and so forth. And that takes a lot of time. And I don't know if I have that kind of time to get this information out there. So I've decided the way to share it is I'm going to share it on YouTube. So I'm going to be doing a series of recordings. So I'm going to tell the story about how I learned the principles I'm talking about, starting with the story of how I learned to learn. And so there's going to be a little series on education and how you become a super learner and also a super teacher at the same time. So if you're interested in hearing about what I was thinking about when I thought I want millions of people to know what I know and understand what I understand, then please subscribe to my channel, and also maybe sign up for one of the mailing lists or like me on Facebook so you can get the notification of when I'm posting more videos. And I look forward to sharing this information with you. So thank you for watching.